Do you ever have this time where fuck, it's like you want to talk to that person, right? You want to go out there and say the thing, but shit, all of a sudden your voice is like there's nothing to say. Like you're aware that you are there, but there are no words. It's like you're freaking out, like, what the fuck should I do now? It's like you can say these things, but still there's nothing to actually what you want to say, right? And this experience is crazy. And because of that, you just feel like frustrate yourself. It's like, why? Why did I do this? Like, why didn't I just say the thing that I wanted? And that affected your dating life, maybe your relationship with your partner, friends, family, anything, right? And it's crazy how this small thing can affect our life, right? And in this way, I'm going to tell you exactly why that happens and how you can overcome that once and for all. So, all you need to realize is like the first thing you need to realize is that you, my friend, you're not awkward. It's not because you're awkward, because shit, because you were, if you were awkward, right? Then why is it the fact that certain times with certain people, with your close friends or people you feel more comfortable with, you're able to say the whatever you want, you have the words to say, you have the things you want to really, really say, right? But it's just like with different people, it's like different things. It's like your brain doesn't want to work. It's like it just fucking what do you call it? Abandons you. It's like self sabotages you for not showing up. It's like that's all you, bro. I'm not with you, bro. Fuck you. And it's crazy how it works. It's not because you're awkward, bro. So that's the biggest misinterpretation you might have. It's like I'm awkward, and the more you say to yourself, "Well, because I don't have anything to say," it means I'm awkward, and that self fulfilling cycle causes you to just tell yourself even more that you are awkward, and your brain tries to find more reasons as to why you're awkward, right? So that one incident, you felt like your mind was just blank and everything, and that one incident, like if you actually notice, right, that one incident causes you to like have more. It's not that you have more, it's just that you focus now more on that, and that creates more, if that makes sense, right? So that self-fulfilling cycle is crazy, and your mind just look for more information. Even right now, you're watching this video, right? You have this thing that there's a part of your brain where thinks that you are awkward, that you don't have the ability to come up with the right words, with the right thing. And because of that, you click this video and it's like, damn, I need to do something about it. Even your brain is trying to figure this out. And I'm glad you joined the not joined the video. Click the video and actually want to find out as to why to do this. And I'm gonna show you exactly how to understand why it happens and how to fucking solve this once and for all. First, the thing you're not awkward, right? So I'm gonna tell you the reason why you have this and how to actually overcome that, right? So the reason why you have this thing is that you put too much pressure on yourself. Like actually think about it. Why is it the fact that when you're in an interview or just dating, right? You're just trying to date a girl, or it's just that friend that you look up to, and you put too much pressure on yourself to do the right thing, to say the right thing, or it's like if you don't do that, there's something gonna happen. Something bad's gonna happen. It's like people is gonna just laugh at you. It's like, oh, I'm gonna embarrass myself. People are not gonna like me, and because I felt that too, bro. I had all these things, and it's crazy how it works. Like this is one of the reasons why you might be stuck. And it is the reason why. It's because you putting too much pressure on yourself to your brain to come up with words that affects you to not come up. It's like it's just stuck in this place, this energy. I don't want to go woohoo here, but this energy that is just flowing around. But it's like because of your thoughts and everything, you put too much pressure on yourself to perform a certain way. And when you try to perform a certain way, it affects your ability to naturally say the things you really want to say. So that's why you have like these moments where you feel comfortable, you can say whatever you want, but you're too uncomfortable around certain people, and you're putting too much pressure on yourself to act a certain way, right? All this reason maybe you want to get validated, maybe you want to get their approval, and this can go beyond this. Like there's too many reasons why, and we need to realize it's like why you're putting too much pressure on yourself, and what is there to if it does happen bad, if the worst case scenario happens, can you trust yourself to overcome that? Can you trust yourself to go off from that, right? So this is superficial, not superficial, understanding yourself as to why I'm putting too much pressure. why am I putting the line? Like, why? That's the reason why you're putting just too much at anxious. You're not at ease. You're trying to connect. You're trying to like say the right things, and your focus is on saying the right things that you say the wrong things. You say, let's not say the wrong thing here. Let's say, right? And you focus on that and you just say the wrong thing, right? How crazy is that? You're not trying to fail. You're not trying to like, let's say you say like, oh, let's not say the wrong thing here. Let's not embarrass ourselves, or I don't know, the things you might be focusing on. And all of a sudden it happens. The reason why is that because it's like you're putting too much like pressure and focus on to what you want to happen, and it happens instead of focus on let's connect. Let's actually listen to him. Let's actually talk to him instead of putting too much pressure on yourself saying the right thing. This smoothly goes to the second point is that putting you're putting people in the pedestal. You're putting people up here. Why? Why are you putting people in the pedestal? What is there to gain? Let me tell you a quick example is that the reason why you feel like shit, I don't know what to say is because you try to impress. Maybe you try to impress them. Maybe, I don't assume anything here, of course, you might to get validation, approval from there. And when you automatic, it's not even your fault, right? It's not even your fault. You are just might be doing it unconsciously, right? Might be the reason why that all this might have happened in your past, and now your brain is trying to protect you from like trying to impress or trying to prove. And this is a whole different story, but we need to address that fact that why do you put people on the pedestal? Once you get conscious, when you get aware as to why, it doesn't have power over you. It doesn't have power over you. The mere fact of being aware as to why you put people on the pedestal, you're like, why am I doing this? The more deeper you go to as to why, the easier it is for you to like attaching yourself too much as to what they say, putting yourself to a test like, oh, if they're rejecting me, if they say no, if they say something about me, I'm not gonna get blended, right? No, not that. And if you're putting people up here, let's say this is a surface level, right? And people are just in the middle, but all of a sudden, unconsciously, you're putting people up here, right? Putting people up here. If you're putting people up here, right, they don't have any reason, or they have more reasons for them to look at that. Look, okay, what's the thing? Look, people with hell. They looking at yourself down, if that makes sense, right? So, so they don't have any other reasons to just make yourself self like down here, if that makes sense. So if you're just putting people up here automatically, they will see you down here and you will feel inadequate. You feel like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not this. I'm not that. And that just affects you to like actually come up with words, and you're like, fuck, why am I like this? Maybe for you, it's like people who are attractive, people you look up to, people who have some qualities that you don't have, right? And those things, when you put people up here, all of a sudden they just look down upon you. It's not like they are doing that because they want to. It's just you are putting yourself in a position that they have to, right? So, third and the most important thing, why you just don't come up with words, is that not trusting. The third is you're not trusting yourself enough. I know this why is kind of ugly, but that's the thing. You're not trusting yourself enough to find out what's gonna happen next, right? Let's say it happens. When it does happen, what's your natural reaction? What's your natural response for you to not being able to come up with words? Something, let's say you feel like is awkward, right? How do you go about it? Do you self-criticize yourself? Do you self-judge, like judge yourself? That small act of responding in that manner causes you to like not have trust in yourself. So next time when it does happen, you even criticize yourself even more. So you fear to not go through that again. And once you change the way you respond to things that happens to you, the way you change all of that, the more trusting you become to yourself. And you're not gonna fear anything. Because the thing you're feeling right now is not that the worst is not there, is that you fear the feeling you're gonna have that's gonna happen. You fear what people are gonna say, but when they say, it's not what they say. It's the feeling you have when they say the thing. See the difference? So the more trusting you become to yourself, the more you trust yourself and everything else becomes easier. So first, stop judging yourself for not coming up with words, right? Okay, it happens, right? So just take the first two into account, right? And the more you trust yourself, the more easier it is for you to connect with anybody. The reason why you cannot trust yourself enough is that you haven't given yourself enough option to trust yourself. Give yourself more option. Let yourself fail. If you make a mistake, don't fucking judge yourself. The more you judge yourself, the cycle repeats, and the next time you fear more for not doing that stuff. And this cycle is a fucking vicious cycle, right? You cannot get out. So the only way is to break it. Accept the fact, fuck, you know what? I couldn't come up with words. I couldn't say the things. Anything like this, like for everything. Once you accept the fact, the energy behind for you yourself attacking yourself dissipates, and you have more energy towards choosing the things you want, and you have more easiness, like ease, like you don't have to force. So if you found like this was helpful to you, you can just have a full communion on this, like understanding how to be at ease, be more authentic in social situation. You don't have to pretend to be who you are not. So if you feel like you're that person, you're struggling with that, you're forcing yourself, you're trying to perform a way you are not, you feel like you're just exhausted after a social interaction, and you feel like, fuck, what the fuck? It's like, damn, I have to do the same thing again next day. I want to connect. Why am I forcing myself? If you feel like that, the community is perfect for you, right? I'll be love. I'll be love. I really love to have you there. Also, I'm giving away weekly calls. Also, when you join, I'm giving one-on-one calls so you can understand where you at, where you want to go, and you can see what's stopping you. So if you feel like that's something you're struggling with, we'd love to have you there. So yeah, see you there.